Memorable deaths in westerns. Train Robbery. By 1959, there were 26 Western primetime TV shows, of which 8 were in the top 10 most watched that year. If you like this video, make sure you hit the notification button so you will see my new videos as they come up. You can take a look at my channel to see all my videos. The link is in the description. Apologies for any mispronunciation of names. Stars such as John Wayne, Henry Fonda and Clint Eastwood were most synonymous with the genre. Marlon Brando to Elvis Presley settled up. The genre enjoyed a revitalization in the 60s with the spaghetti westerns, losing popularity as a mainstream phenomenon. It continued as an ultra-violent cult favorite before taking a step back into sporadic appearances ever since. Like the old frontier itself, the genre had death scenes, shootouts, diseases, muggings, high-stake robberies. It was a cruel place, where few found peace. Of the many fatalities depicted, some had a more memorable impact, giving a dramatic impression that lasts with the audience. Dr. King Schulz, Django Unchained. I couldn't resist. Despite a calm demeanour for much of the film, Dr. King Schulz, Christopher Waltz, reaches his limit at Candyland. Unnerved and distinguished by Calvin Candy, Leonardo DiCaprio, Schultz's cool breaks when he realizes his latest ploy didn't work. Schulz is forced to pay a fortune to free Django's wife. However, we know things are about to go south. Insisting on a handshake out of Schulz, Candy tells his men to open fire on Broomhilda if she leaves before the handshake occurs. Rather than swallowing his pride, Schulz puts a bullet in the slaver's heart. A shotgun blast sends Schulz packing. It's a grim turn of events for a film where hope for the hero was so close. Schulz loses his own life and nearly costs Django and Broomhilda theirs. Pride goes before the fall, something the lovable eccentric dentist learns the hard way. As is always the case with Quentin Tarantino fare, it's a bleak goodbye for the film's most charming character. Mr. Morton, Once Upon a Time in the West. Sergio Leone's masterpiece boasts a collection of unforgettable deaths. One of the best is Mr. Morton's, Gabriel Fossetti, painful failure to reach his dream of getting to the Pacific Ocean. The railroad tycoon signs on mercenary, Frank, Henry Fonda, to run off a farmer in the way of his railroad plans. As often happens, it goes terribly wrong, when Frank kills the farmer and his family. Upset, Morton tries to have Frank killed, but fails miserably. His men are ultimately murdered by an entirely different party. Angry, Frank shows up for revenge, only to realize it's too late. Amongst the corpses, he finds Morton in his final moments. His life has gone astoundingly wrong on all fronts. Leone includes the sound of crashing waves, a cruel reminder of the shore Morton never sees. The delicate sound provides a sense of irony as the once powerful Morton realizes he was horribly out of his depth. Little Bill, Unforgiven. I'll see you in hell, William Money. Clint Eastwood's an aging killer coming out of retirement to fulfill one last job. Unfortunately for Will, the town of Big Whiskey is run by town sheriff Little Bill, Gene Hackman, who hates outlaws. While conducting their business in the town, Will's partner Ned, Morgan Freeman, is captured and killed by Little Bill. Money fearlessly enters the town saloon, looking for revenge. After gunning down the owner, Money makes his intentions clear and kills the patrons, cutting down Bill's deputies, saving the sheriff for last. Disarmed and defenseless, the terrified Bill laments that his dream of building a house for his golden years will not come true. Without sympathy, Money blows him away point blank. Frank Torrey, Shane. Played by the imposing Jack Palance, evil gunman Jack Wilson is a classic Western villain, gleefully murderous. Wilson goes out of his way to torment and challenge Frank Torrey, Elisha Cook Jr. Often teased for being on the losing end of the Civil War, hot-tempered Torrey snaps at Wilson's mockery. Despite being outmatched, Torrey goes to draw his pistol. Wilson gets the jump on him, his pistol aimed and ready before Torrey knows what to think. Wilson sends Torrey to the grave, goaded into his own death. Torrey's death shows us the cruelty and skill of Jack Wilson. Torrey's lifeless body tumbles into the gross muck of the muddy street. A cowhand throws a little cherry on top of the horrible murder cake with the comment, "One less sodbuster." A cruel world in need of a hero. Good thing Shane turned up when he did. John Q. McCabe, McCabe and Mrs. Miller. The boozy gambling bordello proprietor suffers a grueling assassination in Robert Altman's Northwest classic. McCabe very foolishly turns down a corporate offer from the Harrison Shaughnessy Mining Company. In response, they decide he has to die. It's an extreme way to handle rejection, and one that really wouldn't fly these days. Dawn. A cat-and-mouse game begins with McCabe being hunted all around the town, getting the best of two assassins. McCabe takes several injuries before being gunned down by the third assassin. Playing possum, barely alive, McCabe gets the drop and takes his shooter out at point-blank range. McCabe remains doomed with his third wound being fatal. Due to a church fire in the town, no one is there to help and McCabe dies alone in the snow. Liberty Valance, the man who shot Liberty Valance. John Ford's classic reaches its crescendo with a duel between two very mismatched gunfighters. On one side, Liberty Valance, Lee Marvin, the deadliest gunfighter around. On the other, Ransom Stoddard, James Stewart. Stoddard, miraculously, gets the best of Valance, now the stuff of legend to the townfolk. However, what we learn is not what it seems. Tom Doniphan, John Wayne, a rancher and gunslinger, is the real killer. In the shadows, Doniphan times his shot at Liberty perfectly, leaving everyone to believe it was Stoddard who got the drop on Valance. Stoddard's reputation as the man who shot Liberty Valance carries him through a successful life as a politician. Nathan Champion, Heaven's Gate. This revisionist western was among the most expensive of all time. The director brought scene stealer Christopher Walken back to portray Nathan Champion. Based on the Johnson County War, the film has several notable death scenes. The best belongs to Walken, going out in a hail of gunfire with his cabin going up in flames behind him. Sensing his end was near, Champion writes an emotional goodbye letter to his friends before meeting his maker. Adding insult to injury, the dastardly Frank Canton, Sam Waterston, and his associates obliterate everything Champion has, including his best friend, before they pump the poor guy full of lead. Champion's last stand is as dramatic as it gets. Butch and Sundance. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. These whimsical exploits of two legendary outlaws boast one of the most iconic end stills in movie history. Butch and Sundance at a crossroads of the turn of the century. After several accident-prone train robberies, the pair decide to turn over a new leaf. However, fate has other plans for the duo when they fall victim to bandits. Dispirited, we witness a sad and disappointing return to a life of crime which ends, as these things so often do, badly. For stealing a payroll and the mules carrying it, Butch and Sundance come under attack from police. Guns blazing and bullets tearing them apart. They take cover and humorously discuss escape plans they both know will never happen. Accepting their fates, they charge out into a hail of bullets. Pike Bishop, The Wild Bunch. Sam Peckinpah's violent western starts and finishes with blood-soaked battles, via a crisscross of rapid-fire and slow-motion sequences. He captures the horrifying escapades of Pike Bishop, William Holden, and his aging band of outlaws. A 7-minute shootout sees the gang trying to rescue their imprisoned friend, Angel. Being a pecking-ball film, the rescue becomes an apocalyptic shootout in which Pike and his men are slaughtered, fighting to the end. Pike handles a Maxim gun and delivers hell to the Federales before a random bullet to the back incapacitates him. Bleeding out with his friend Dutch Enstrom, Ernest Borgnine, the two shot to bits in the midst of a war they could never win. Witnessing first the deaths of his men, Pike's demise is symbolic of the death of the Wild West. If you like this video, make sure you hit the notification button so you will see my new videos as they come up. You can take a look at my channel to see my other videos. The link is in the description. Take a look at my Facebook page as well. I appreciate likes, shares and subscribers. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.